Hello everyone, I am Krik Kodal and I am doing a review of all the teams in this IPL season, and in this video I am doing a review of MI. So MI finished at the ninth position in the points table and they had a very disappointing season. They won the first match of the season, but after that they struggled throughout the season. They broke their 13-year-old record of winning the first game, as last time they won was in 2012 season. They started the season at the second position after winning their first match, but after their second match, they dropped outside the top four. Then they struggled throughout the season and were never able to come back inside the top four. At one point, they were also at the bottom of the table for two matches in the season, but then jumped to the seventh position after winning one match. But after that, they came down to the ninth position, and for the last six matches, they remained at the same position. So in the squad, they had a total of 29 players, which included 9 overseas players and 12 uncapped players. Four of the players were ruled out of the IPL and they brought in four replacement players in place of the ruled out players. So now going to the playing 11. So in the playing 11, they used a total of 24 players, which included 8 overseas players. So only 5 players from the squad didn't get an opportunity to play for MI this season. They made a total of 33 changes in the playing 11 throughout the IPL, and only twice they played with the same team. Even though they had a solid team, they didn't perform as per their expectation. They had a lot of chopping and changing in the playing 11 due to injuries and player availabilities. So these are the main players which made the playing 11 for them, and apart from them there were 9 other players who played some matches for them, like Quinton de Kock, Robin Mins, Danish Malewar, Mitchell Santner, Raj Angad Bawa, Krish Bhagat, Mayank Rawat, Ashwani Kumar and Mayank Markandi. So they opened with Ryan Rickelton and Rohit Sharma. In some matches, they also used Quinton de Kock and Danish Malewar when Rohit Sharma was injured. Then in the middle order, they used a combination of players like Naman Dheer, Surya Kumar Yadav, Tilak Verma, Hardik Pandya, Sharfin Rutherford, Will Jacks and Robin Mins. Then they used a lot of options at 7 and 8 with players like Deepak Chahar, Corbin Bosch, Shardul Thakur, Mitchell Santner, Raj Angad Bawa, Krish Bhagat and Mayank Rawat. Then in the bowling, they used bowlers like Bumrah, Gazanfar, Raghu Sharma, Bolt, Ashwani Kumar and Mayank Markandi. So season-wise, MI had a very poor season, and with the quality of players they had in their squad, this was a disappointing performance. The main players of MI didn't perform as per the expectation. The likes of Rohit, Surya, Pandya, Bumrah and Bolt didn't have a very good season. I feel that they are not playing as a team, and as a captain, Hardik Pandya also didn't have a very good season. After coming back to MI, he had two bad seasons as a captain. I feel that the last season was an exception in the campaign as they qualified for the playoffs, but in the other two seasons, Hardik Pandya didn't have a good time as MI skipper. There is nothing to be said about the quality of the players which they had, but it was about playing as a single team and playing for that one trophy which I think they lacked in this season. They had few injuries in the season also, and they struggled with the combination throughout the season. In almost every match, they had changes to their lineup, and in some matches, they didn't even utilize the impact player properly as they made the impact sub but didn't give overs to the impact player. So MI totally looked out of this season and they had no answers for the poor performance in this season. They had just 4 wins in the season with 2 home wins and 2 away wins. So the player that impressed me the most from MI was Allah Ghazanfar. He was the pick of the bowlers from MI and he got wickets for them. This was his first season in the IPL and he performed very well. MI's overall bowling performance was not that good, but Ghazanfar bowled very well. He is a mystery spinner and has a lot of variation, and he used the variations pretty well in this season. Then the player who disappointed me the most was Jasprit Bumrah. He came into the IPL with superb performance in the T20 World Cup, but his IPL numbers were very poor. In 13 matches, he had just 4 wickets to his name, which was very disappointing. At one point, he was struggling to get his first wicket in the IPL. In some matches, he also went for plenty of runs. Not sure what was the issue with him because he didn't look like out of form or was not bowling well. It was just that he was not getting wickets, and some matches he also went for runs. So from Bumrah, you always expect control of the game in the bowling, but this season he was not able to do it. So it was very disappointing to see him in this season. Now going to the batting stats. So the highest run scorer of MI was Ryan Rickerton with 448 runs, followed by Tilak Verma, Namandir, Rohit Sharma and Surya Kumar Yadav. The highest score for MI came from Ryan Rickerton, which was 123 not out, followed by Quinton de Kock's 112 not out and Tilak Verma's 101 not out. So the highest strike rate for MI among batters was Ryan Rickerton with 186, followed by Bill Jacks and Sharfin Rutherford. Trent Bolt had a strike rate of 200, but he played only 4 deliveries. Then, in the most hundreds, Ryan Rickerton topped the list along with Tilak Verma and Quinton de Kock with 1 century each. Then, in the most 50s list, Ryan Rickerton, Tilak Verma, Naman Dheer, Rohit Sharma, and Surya Kumar Yadav all had 250s each, and Sharfin Rutherford followed them with 150. Then in the most fours, Ryan Rickerton and Naman Dheer topped the list with 31 fours, followed by Tilak Verma with 30 and Surya Kumar Yadav followed them with 28 fours. Then in the most sixes, Ryan Rickerton again topped the list with 38 sixes, followed by Rohit Sharma who hit 21 sixes. So clearly, Ryan Rickerton was the top performer with the bat for MI. Then team-wise, their lowest score was 104 for 10 against CSK at the Wankhede and highest score was 243 for 5 against SRH at Wankhede. Now going to the bowling stats. So Allah Ghazanfar was the highest wicket taker with 15 wickets, followed by Corbin Bosch and Shardul Thakur with 12 wickets each. Then the best bowling performance came from Ashwani Kumar with figures of 4 for 24, followed by Corbin Bosch figures of 4 for 26. Then the best economy was from Jasprit Bumrah with economy of 8.37, followed by Raghu Sharma's economy of 8.67. Then Setner followed them with economy of 8.93. Then in the 4 wicket haul, Corbin Bosch, Shardul Thakur and Ashwini Kumar topped the list with one 4 wicket haul each. Then in the most dot ball bowled for MI, Jasprit Bumrah topped the list with 111 dot balls, followed by Allah Ghazanfar and Deepak Chahar. So Allah Ghazanfar was MI's top performer with the ball. Then team-wise, their best bowling performance was 10 for 100 against GT at Ahmedabad. So that's it in this video, and let me know your thoughts about this video in the comments, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe.